Hello everyone. Today, I will tell you about the innovations in the fashion for Minecraft 0.5. Let's start with the most interesting thing, the train system. We have rails. They can be placed either one at a time, or stretched for some distance. Rails can be placed at heights approximately like this. If we hold a block in the second hand, then putting the rails at a height, these blocks will be a support for these rails. The block I'm holding in my hands now is called metal shutters. It was added in this update. It can be placed both vertically, so by holding the shift button by pressing on any side of the shutters, you can put it horizontally. Shafts can also be carried through horizontal and vertical shutters. In survival mode, if we put a railway track in length, we will write how much it takes to hold these rails. If you don't want to run rails anymore, just click Shift and right-click. Also, with the help of rails, you can make cross paths. Turns with the help of rails can also be done by extending them by 90 degrees. Such angles can be set no more than 90 degrees. Let's move on to creating the first train. For our first train, we will need a railway station, a train body, a train controller, a red seat and glue. We approach the railway station, the rails, and in the direction in which we want our train to go, we have to put this station, and we put a block of this station next to it. This block does not have to be placed next to the railway. You have 14 blocks away to put this station. So, we have set up a railway station, we go into it. Here we can name our station, for example, let's call Test 1, and here we can create a new train for ourselves. Please note that you can put the train a little further from the place where you put the railway station. So, we put the body of the train on these blue rails, and we put our first block of the train. In order for the train to go, we need to attach some details to it. The first thing we need to attach is a train controller, and we must put it necessarily in the direction in which our train is traveling. We set the direction there, so let it stand like this. The next thing we have to put is a red seat. Although it is not necessary if you do not want the train to run on schedule. If you drive the train yourself, you can ride without this red seat. After you have installed all the necessary components, you can go in, but you still won't be able to assemble the train, because everything that you have put on the train must be glued together. Now you can build a search. Also, the search here can be called. If you suddenly left the station by train, you will not be able to interact with the train in any way. Do not break it. Do nothing in any way. More precisely, you can roll it and that's it. Speaking of management, to control the train, you need to click on this panel and use the VSD buttons to control the train. To break and build the train further, we need to drive up to the nearest station. When we are near any station, we have to press the space bar. Our train will be exposed. We will be able to get off, disassemble the train, and then we can break and build our train, and then also run and ride it. Well, I didn't stick it here. So don't forget to glue the blocks that were put on the train. Also, having put the first body of the train, all the rails that go behind it also become suitable for putting the bodies here. So you can do a very, very long train. So we made a train, but we want it to go by itself and according to the schedule. The first thing we have to do to make him go by himself, we have to bring some animal and tie it with a rope to our train. We put the animal on our train, and it turns out he becomes our driver. Further along the railway, on which our train rides, we must put a second station. Be sure to go in the direction in which our train is going, otherwise it will not go. We call this station, I'll call it room 1-2, and our station is ready. The next thing we have to craft is the subject of the schedule. By taking it in the right hand and clicking the right mouse button, we can add a schedule. Let's say I want our train to go first to room 1-2 and wait there for, say, 10 seconds, and then return to room 1 and wait here for 5 seconds. There are also things like getting to the station, updating the current schedule, and changing the traction. While waiting, we can add the time of day. He will go only when a certain time of day comes. The condition of liquid cargo, the train will travel only when its cargo is filled with a certain number of buckets. The condition of the cargo, the train will go only when it is filled with a certain number of items. Wireless yes stone signal, the train will go only when the redstone signal is applied to it. Players are sitting, the train will go only when one or more players get on. You will set the number yourself. Open the cargo, the train will go only when it unloads the cargo for some time. Chang is unloaded. The train will go only when Chang is unloaded from your computer memory. The station is working. Each station can be made working and not working. If the station is working, then the train will go. When we have made up the schedule, we have to approach the pig, well, or any other driver that you want to deliver. It can be any animal, even though the creeper gives him the schedule. Closer? But no, first you need to build a train, and only then give him a schedule. And our pig goes to the next station. Also in this update, new decor items for trains have been added, namely, 3 stairs, brass staircase, copper staircase, and andesite staircase. 3 hatches, 2 hatches, a train hatch, and a glass hatch. Train doors that open in a very interesting way, namely like this and flywheel. This is a spinning wheel. It is made purely for decorative purposes. Also, if you put the train doors on the train itself, of course, we have to glue them. When the train will travel. He's standing in the parking lot now. When the train leaves, the doors will close. Now we will see it. Here. Automatically. When the train arrives at the station, the doors open automatically and we can enter. The next thing we will consider is a traffic light. Railway naturally. We can put a traffic light in the direction in which our train is moving. And then, the traffic light will not prevent our train from going in any way. We can also put a traffic light in the other direction right there. And now, when we send a signal to the redstone traffic light, he will either drive or not drive. Now I have turned off our traffic light and the train should pass. But no, it's on now, and when I turn it off, it will go on. That is, so you can control whether the train will go somewhere further or not, and you can also put a gas discharge indicator for a more convenient indication. The next block is the railway observer. We can put an observer here, for example, and hold a redstone signal to the lamp, and when this train passes here, this observer will give out a redstone signal. Let's take a look now. And so, the train gave us a redstone signal, and the lamps lit up. That is, the observer reacts to the train and gives a rest signal when the train is on this platform, where the observer is. Let's complicate the schedule of our train a little bit. We don't want it to go around. Let's say we want him to come to one station once, and another time to another. Let's say like here, he can go like this and come back, or he can go like this, making such a circle, and also coming back. How do I make it so that he goes both there and there? Let's take a look. This is room 2 and 2, and there's room 2 and 3. Yes. In the schedule, we make him go first to room 2 and 2, stand there for 5 seconds, then to the room 2 and 1, stood there for 5 seconds, and then to room 2 and 3, stood there for 5 seconds, then drove to room 2 and 1, and stood there for 5 seconds. Let's even reduce the seconds to 3. Thus, in the schedule, we set the train to first go for 2 and 2, that is, it comes here for 2 and 1, after which it goes for 2 and 3, and then it comes for 2 and 1, and then it goes for 2. Well, the schedule repeats again, comes to the initial state, and the train goes back to 2 and 2. Be sure after clarifying that he must go for 2 and 3, or 2 and 2, he must come for 2 and 1, because if you put 2 and 3 after 2 and 1, he may not understand how to go, or not stop for 2 and 1. Let's give him a schedule. The belt is assembled, we give him a schedule. So what do we see? Let's first, he has to come there for 2 and 2, that is here. So, he arrived correctly. I stood here for 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3, and goes to 2 and 1. If you don't want him to go to 1, you can skip. You can skip so that he goes for 2 and 3 at once, without stopping for 2 and 1. Well, now he goes to 2 and 3, and then returns to 2 and 1. Let's see, will he take the next flight for 2 and 2 or not? And yes, he's on the next flight for 2 days. 2 and 2. In this way, we have made a complex system of railway tracks, and made a timetable for it. In addition to transporting you, trains can also transport items, as well as load and unload them. Let's take a look. I made a train, I put a piggy on it, I put an item storage, and a portable storage interface on it, so that it would ship and load items. Next, I made a small wheat farm here, which, after collecting wheat, unloads it into a portable storage interface, and transfers this portable storage interface, which, when colliding with a train, will transfer everything to the train, and then, after driving a little, it connects to this portable storage interface, and wheat should appear here. So we give Paul Piggy's schedule and go. Let's go. However, it was necessary to turn on the wheat farm first. So we unload the wheat and load it here. So the train left us, because here it costs us only 10 seconds. He stayed here at this stop. I did this on purpose, quickly. And what we see is that he also stops here, and ships wheat into a chest. What do we see next? We also reload wheat here. and we ship wheat services. Thus, we can transfer automatic items from one point to another. Let's say you have a farm here and a house here. You put such a scheme here and transfer resources from the farm to your house already. Or let's say you can put a quarry that will be over the edge of the portal and collect beautiful blocks of stone for you. After that, you can ship resources from this quarry to the train and transport them to your home. Also, when your train is carrying some items, you can put some kind of filter on the train observer. That is, I put a wheat filter in this observer. If there is wheat on the train, it will light up. Let's see if he has wheat or not. And we see that there is no wheat on the train. And that's right, he doesn't drag anything, but only seeds. Now we will take bone meal and use bone meal to grow millet here. Now there will definitely be wheat on our train, and we will see if the observer lights up or not. So we look, our train is going, and our lamps have lit up, because there is wheat on the train. And here she is. Absolutely. Where we transfer objects, either to the train, or from the train, we need to make stations. And the stations are even a little further away than this portable storage interface, although this is already looking at the location of your portable storage interface on the train, and already substitute the station so that when the train gets here, the portable storage interface is right next to this portable storage interface. That's how it is here. So, we are done with trains, and now we can move on to the new block that was added in this update, the scoreboard. Mechanical scoreboard. To connect it, we need a gear like this. We connect it from the top, or from the side, or from the bottom as you like. The main thing is that it turns this gear, and preferably at a speed of at least 32. What is this scoreboard for? And this scoreboard is needed to transmit information from any block, using an information transmitter. How does it work? We take the information transmitter, right-click on the scoreboard, and put it on any block that can transmit information to this scoreboard. Let's say it could be a depot. How is information transmitted from the depot to the scoreboard? With the right mouse button, we simply erase these inscriptions with our hand. However, this inscription appears again, because we have an information transmitter here. We have put an information transmitter at the depot, and how does it work? I've taken the items, and I'm putting a log of turf on the depot. What do we see? The inscription turf appeared here. If we take the second transmitter, put it on the second depot, we can choose the second line in the tour, and write the second item. Here we will have a second item on the second line and put, say, boards. And we are waiting. Now he will appear. Oak planks. Also, the information transmitter works with the chair. We also click on the scoreboard and click on the chair and put, let's say, a donkey. Click on the transmitter, write the beast, and what do we see? The beast is an ass. Or let's say we put a parrot on a chair. We will have it written parrot. We can also put an information transmitter on a block with a liquid. Now we will have all the information about this tank with liquid. That is, here we have water, what kind of heating we have, what size we have. Also, information can be read from such lamps. We take the information transmitter, and here we have hull. Then you can read information from the target. We have what number, that is where we got to. Here, I hit 15, here I hit 6, here I hit 9. And it is also possible to read information from the cuckoo clock, and time is running out here. Also, the information transmitter can be placed on the conveyor, speedometer on the enchantment table and bookshelves to find out what level of enchantment is available, and of course, on the steam engine, also added in this update. Paired engines. How are they made? We need such blocks as liquid tank, mechanical pump, liquid pipe, gear, steam engine, coal and shaft. So how is it done? These are liquid tanks. We can put 4 liquid tanks, well, or 1, there must be bonfires under them, or some kind of heating. We put bonfires here, put liquid tanks on them. We can do this, it doesn't matter. Next, I'll tell you what affects what. Then we take a mechanical pump and put it to this tank and conduct water. Switch with a wrench so that the water is pumped into the tanks. We put gears here and supply some kind of energy. The higher the energy velocity, the more water is supplied to the tank. Then, we attach a fuel engine to the tank and put a shaft to the fuel engine, and now we have already transferred energy. Let's put on our glasses and see that we have a maximum load of 2048 yen. And here, we can connect any devices and they will work. We can make the boiler bigger, but it's useless if the water and heating are the same as they were before. I also made our boiler wider, but also nothing worked. The same heating, the same water, nothing has changed. The water comes even from 2 sources, and the heating is no longer from 4 pots, but from 9, but still the permissible load is 2000 m. But what is already working is a large boiler, 2 water sources, and 4 sparks that are directed by coal. Such a boiler can add 49,152 yen, and 1 generator can go up to 16,000 m. This is our 3rd level boiler, but let's say there is already a huge boiler. It takes 3 sources of water, 1, 2 and 3, at more or less high speeds, and let's set fire to 8 from the shelves, and see how many units of energy will be given to us. $98,000 units of energy. This is a cauldron of the 6th level, the most efficient boiler I've found. Well, as an effective, it is a completely inefficient boiler, because in order to power it, you need a cake of spaloka. These are 4 water sources with a maximum feed rate of 8 blocks high and 9 blocks wide, and 8 spaleks fed with a spaleks cake. $262,000 energy. This is our boiler of the 16th level, and as I understand it, you can make the boiler even better. Also in this update, a whistle was added. Steam whistle. It can only be installed on paired engines, and with the help of a wrench, we can change it. And also, if you press the steam whistle on the steam whistle, we will add heights to this pair. What does this steam whistle do? It's very simple, he's yelling. The wider this whistle is, the lower the sound of its yell. The higher this whistle is, the more different the sound it makes, the notes change. And the last thing that this update adds to this fashion is such a smart frame. We can put it up, take some object, let's say a flash cake, and put it in this frame. A beautiful, smart frame, and it just fits the body of the train, by the way. Also, if we put a blue corn flower in this frame and click this blue corn flower, it will transmit a redstone signal. I have a redstone circuit here that leads to this lamp. We press the cornflower on this cornflower. That is, if I press with my hand, nothing. If I press with my body, nothing. If I press with a cake, nothing. If I press the frame, and also nothing. But if I press with a blue cornflower, it will give a signal. I think you can make very cool mechanisms out of this. Let's say yes, this frame is hanging here. A flash cake is drawn on it, and until you find it somewhere on the survival map, you will not be able to go further, because only with a flash cake we can supply redstone energy. Next, decorative blocks. A small tile made of rose quartz. It can stand exactly like this. It does not turn over in any way, as it would not be built. Copper tile is a pretty cool block. It's probably fun to make a roof out of it. Well, shingles as it were. A block of rose quartz. This is the only block of all these that can be placed both vertically and horizontally, and it will have different textures in the case you put it. The rose quartz lamp looks like this, has the property of glowing, and it is enough to press once. You can even break the button. It will always glow. Also, if you put these blocks in place and send a signal to them, they will take the signal from each other. That is, it will not work to hold all three with one button. They cannot be put together, otherwise they will not light up. It's not really an innovation, they just changed the way glue works. We take glue, we take blocks. Let's say, as we did before, we either added glue to our second hand and glued the block to other blocks. Yes, it works now, but there is no need for it anymore. When we look with glue at other blocks that are glued together, we see that they stand out, so they are glued together. If we need to glue, say, these two blocks, we can just do this. If we need to glue these 4 blocks, we need to do this. If we add one block to the 4 glued together, let's say I want to add to this block, and it will stick together with all 4. Here, if we want, let's say, we want to put this whole structure in glue, we can make a square of glue like this. And here all these things will stick together. Moreover, everything that we will put here in this cube, it will also stick together. That is, whatever we put, it all sticks together. That is, I can even throw out the glue now, but since I put it in the range of this cube that we have selected, then it all sticks together. And that's it. Subscribe, like, click on the bell if you want to see more videos on updates. Write comments if I suddenly forgot to say something about this update, and write in the comments if something suddenly became unclear to you and you want to know more about it. I will answer everything. Good luck to everyone. Bye to everyone.